All right, everybody. Today, excuse the roughness. I was busy all day cleaning and playing Yahtzee. But today, we're gonna do some a VickCook special. It's been a while, so I'm actually just gonna fry some chicken. And normally I get like the pieces already together, but I'm actually gonna just take a whole chicken, butcher it up, and then get the different cuts of pieces. Then I'm gonna show you how I season my chicken and everything. I did a chicken video before where I fried some chicken. And I kind of simplified it a little bit, but you'll see. So the first thing we're going to do is you're definitely going to want to rinse off your chicken. There's been a lot of debates about whether or not you should rinse off the chicken. I say rinse it off because you really can't go wrong by rinsing it off. And now if you're one of those people that splash bacteria everywhere, then just wipe out your sink when you're done with some bleach. And you can get a chicken for cheap, pretty much. This chicken was like $8. Normally, I get a chicken for about $5-6 or whatever. But this is kind of a bigger chicken, so. All right, so now that that's there, we will just set it right on the cutting board. And then from here, we're just gonna make our cuts. So we're gonna just go right into it. So. What I find is the easiest thing to do is to cut off the spine first. And don't worry, it's a lot of chicken juice everywhere, but when this is all done, I'm going to wipe this down with some bleach to make sure everything's disinfected. Or disinfected. Alright, so the first thing I do is I just pretty much just kind of cut off the spine. Because the spine, you really can't do anything with it. I mean, you could probably just throw this in a blender, grind it up, and then maybe make chicken nuggets with it. But we don't really do chicken nuggets over here. So now that you got that over, now this is the way you would butterfly it. So if you actually want to just crack that breastbone down, if you actually want to butterfly this and throw it on the grill, you absolutely can do that. But for this video, we're just going to break it down in parts. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut off the dark meat parts. And it's real simple to do. You just go right over the skin. It's not really that hard. You don't have to break bone. The hardest part is when we do actually have to crunch into some bones. Alright, so I'll set that there for now. So now for the... so this is a 5-leg combo. You could just fry this as is or grill it if you want, but I want to break it up. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to find like right in the middle of that where, so it's like kind of like right here, going alongside where the bone kind of meets, and just press down on it and it should just pop off. So we got a nice little leg there, and right here we got a nice big thigh. And we're going to do the same thing for here. Sometimes a little bitty. Now this thigh looks a little smaller, but that's okay. So we'll just, yeah. There we go. All right, so we got another leg, and then we have a smaller thigh. Now, I don't know why this happened. I don't know why we got a thigh here, and these thighs are clearly two different shapes, but whatever. And then we got our 2 legs, but, you know, maybe I don't know, maybe the chicken was lopsided. So next is, we got the wings. Now I seem to have lost one part of this wing, but that's all right. For the wing, I like to just go right up in the shoulder part, and then just make sure you get a nice sharp knife. This is new for me. I got this new cleaver. It's actually been amazing in just cutting through chunks of meat, because I can just kind of hack into it. It's heavy, and I can actually just push down through it. So we're going to do the same with this little shoulder here. I pretty much just bring it in and just let the knife do the work, add a little bit of pressure, and it cuts through that bone. So now we got that. Now for the breast, this is kind of hard because it's some bone in here. So what I do is I just kind of grab it by here, or actually it'll be better if I just go right down the middle. There we go. So go right down the middle, and you can break that out. Now you can fry this just like it is with the bone in it. It'll be very juicy, but I like to have chicken strips. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this and just cut the bone off of it. we'll throw the bone. We'll throw the bone over there. So yeah. So now I got a chicken breast. It feels like there's some bone in here still. So we will just kind of cut this out the best way we can. And then one thing about the chicken breast is if you're making a bunch of chicken strips from it, you really don't have to worry about symmetry or cutting it even. But you do want to make sure that you get all the bones out, which is what I did here. So then pretty much from that, I just pretty much just cut little bits of, just cut little sections off of it just so it can be chicken strips. And I love chicken strips because when I do my sauces and everything, they're really easy and fun to dip. And then I got this leftover piece of chicken skin that kind of fell off, but that's all right. We'll just throw that to the scraps. And I will leave this chicken breast whole. So we'll fry a whole chicken breast. It's gonna take a lot of time, but we'll do that just so you guys can see it. So for my meat cuts, I have a total of, I got a good 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thick chicken strips, a whole chicken breast. I have 2 wings, 2 legs, a thigh, and 2 thighs. And then I got some other leftover chicken parts here. I'm just gonna throw that away. But, so this is the breakdown of a chicken. I'm gonna pause the video, clean up a little bit, and I'm gonna show you guys how we do our seasoning and everything, and then we'll just hit these in the fryer. All right, so we're back. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I got my chicken pieces all over here. We gotta make the egg wash. So what I do, now some people do like a thing called buttermilk. If anybody knows what buttermilk is, help me out. I never heard of it. I don't know what it is, don't know how to make it. But what I do is I just take some eggs. So I got 3 eggs here total. So what I do is I just crack about a couple eggs in here. And I'm doing this in this thick, on this wide pan. Or this plastic little tote thingy. So that way I can just kind of keep all the chicken in the middle of everything. And keep everything submerged. Alright, so I got my fork here, and then, so pretty much I just take about 3 eggs. Sometimes I'll do 2 eggs, but for this, since this chicken was large, I think I might need 3. And then what I'll do is I'll take some beer. This is some beer that I didn't finish the other day. Don't really matter, you can open up a fresh beer. I just pour a little bit of beer in that. And then hot sauce. And this kind of adds like a little underlying spice. And I'm going for like a nice rich orange color. So once you get that, and it depends. If you want a little bit more hot, you can always add more hot sauce. But once I get about this kind of color, I know it's good. It's not too thick. You don't want to add too much beer to water it down, but you do want a nice little liquid that you can just dip the chicken in. Alright, so that's what I'll do. And actually the first step is we're just going to go ahead and just dip the chicken into the egg wash. So we have our legs. We're going to put our legs in here. And then we have our wings. Then we got our thighs. There we go. And then I'm just gonna mix that around a little bit. So now they're getting nice and coated. And this is good enough. Then I'll flip them around and they're pretty much good to go in the flour. But I'll let them sit like this for a little bit. We'll move them around, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add my chicken strips. Just make sure all that's staying in there. And everything's getting pretty much submerged, so it's pretty good. Now the breast, I'm gonna leave the breast right there for now. I'll do the breast very last. That's gonna take the longest to cook because it's the biggest piece of meat. So I wanna make sure I get that coated really nice first. Actually, maybe I could squeeze that in here. We'll see if we can. We'll see what happens. Maybe, oh, there we go. Okay, that works. So yeah, we'll just throw that in there. I am gonna cook the breast last. So now I got all my chicken in there. What I usually do with this at this point is I just kind of just sit it to the side. We don't need our cutting board or our chopping knife anymore, so we'll just throw all that in there. So I'm gonna leave my chicken like that. And then the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do our flour. So for our flour, I always double bag it. I get 2 bags of flour. I get 2 bags to put the flour in. And that way, if you have a leak in one bag, you can easily, you know, fix that with the second bag. And then, now I always season my flour. So my flour, I have a little bit of this light Creole seasoning. I have some Slap Your Mama Cajun spice for a little spice to it. Then I have my, this is what I use for Thanksgiving for my turkeys, Chickalika Bam Bam's bird rub. And then I got some basil. I just kept it simple. I didn't put any peppercorn in here, but we'll just grab our peppercorn grinder, and then I'll just grind some peppercorns in here. And pretty much you season your flour. That way when you pull that chicken out the grease, it'll have those scents and it'll have those notes in there. You could season it after it, true, but I don't know, something about when you season the flour, it seems like it kind of sticks to the chicken a little bit better. So right now I'm just adding a bunch of freshly ground peppercorns to this mix. And then I'm gonna go ahead, I filled up this mortar and pestle, this motor part, with all of the things and with all the things I mentioned before. Don't really have to stir it up, but I'm just gonna dump all that in there. All right, now while that's doing that, I'm gonna go over to my fryer and I'm gonna cut the grease up to about 350-ish. And it's already hot and ready to go. So that's good. And pretty much for my chicken, we are gonna just take, we'll start off with a couple of drumsticks. Oh, yeah, be aware of that pepper, the pepper those seasonings will get in the air. So yeah, we'll start off with a couple of drumsticks. And a thigh. Yeah, we'll do a drumsticks and a thigh. Can't go wrong with that. It's kind of hard. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's heavy. All right, so I got both the drumsticks and the thigh in here. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna mix this around in the bag. All right, and then once that's mixed around, we pretty much just come over here. Let me turn the camera. There we go. We just turn the camera over here, and then we're just gonna put in the grease. And what I learned too is, yeah, these seasons, I should have threw the seasons in there and kind of just fell back a little bit. But what I learned earlier about this fryer is you don't want to overcrowd it. So just put a couple pieces in there where they got enough room to swim around in. If you overcrowd it, it kind of just takes longer to cook, and then it cools the temperature of the grease. So sometimes you'll get like chicken that's not all the way cooked through, or you'll get like burnt engines or whatever. So just put enough in there to where, you know, and actually this piece looks too big. Yeah, so it's filling up. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to readjust, and you know what, we will take where's that wing? There we go. 2 thigh, or actually where's that smaller thigh? There we go. Here we go. If I can find that smaller thigh. There we go. So I found the smaller thigh. I'm going to throw that in there. I'm going to toss this around in the flour. And if you look, the flour has a nice color too. It's not white anymore. It's very peppery. It's got a nice color to it. It smells really nice. Like these fumes is making me sneeze and cough. But I guess that's what happens when you just use fresh seasonings. You know, it happens sometimes. So All right, so I got my I got my smaller thigh. I'm gonna put my smaller thigh in there. And pretty much, we're just gonna close that up. And we're gonna drop the chicken. And now for timing wise, I would say maybe about 7 minutes or so. 7, 8 minutes, maybe 10. What I do is I kind of just wait till the chicken kind of floats up. That'll let you know when it's done. And we'll check the color in it. So I'm gonna let this go for about 5, 7 minutes or so. And we'll be back shortly. All right, so it's been about 5, 10, 15 minutes. I don't know. I just been watching it, and I noticed that it's nice golden brown. It's trying to float, but it's kind of too heavy. So what I've noticed is some big chicken pieces. They're really huge. They're huger than what I'm used to. So what I do is I take them out, and I'm just gonna throw them into this pan right here. And I'll line the pan up with a paper towel, just kind of pick up some of that grease. Now, as soon as it comes out the fryer, what I like to do is I like to hit it with a little bit of lemon juice. And you can flip it over there. Not too much, but just enough for a little, just a little flavor. So I hit it with a little bit of lemon juice and then some more pepper. And that's how I do my lemon pepper chicken. And pretty much I'll just sit this aside. That's good. And then we'll just just add in another batch. So the next batch that we're gonna do, I got it here. So we'll move this to the side for now. Now the next batch I got here is I have that thigh that I felt was kind of too big on its own. Or it was too big to put in with the other pieces. So we're just gonna throw that chicken thigh in there. Yeah, that is really huge. So that's gonna take a while to cook. And I also have a couple pieces of, actually, I'm gonna save my chicken strips. We'll do the wings next. There we go. We'll mix it up. So I was gonna put my chicken strips in there, but I'll save that for the next part of the video. So yeah, we're gonna just mix that on in there with all our flour and all our goodness. And we will take our, there we go. So that's nice and mixed. Put our 2 chicken. Now the chicken wings are gonna cook faster than this chicken thigh, so I'm gonna pull this out I'm gonna pull this out way ahead of the time. In the meantime, I'm just gonna package this up. I'm gonna get ready for my meal prep. I'm gonna start meal prepping and everything. I have some pasta that I'm gonna have with this that I've made before. So yeah, we're just gonna dump this in the grease. And this is easy to feed like a nice little small family. It's really cheap to do. For $8, you get a bunch of pieces of chicken. I'm actually gonna dig in. Actually, no, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for my whatchamacallit. This got a little bit burnt on this one, but that's all right. But yeah, we got some nice, crispy, big pieces of fried chicken. And we got some more coming, so just stay tuned. Just hold it down for a little bit. I'm gonna try to start the process of cleaning up everything. And then we'll be ready to go. Alrighty, so the wings look about done. So next thing we gotta do is we're gonna just put everything in the grease. Yeah, the wings look nice and crispy, nice and plump. Look at that beautiful, even colored golden brown. Then go ahead and just bring them over here. And also, if you notice, like in the grease, it's starting to float a little bit. So it's doing that, so we're just gonna throw that in there. This, I'm gonna leave that in there for a little bit longer. And then what I'm gonna do is just same as before, hit it with my lemon. And then not too much, but just enough to give it a little bit of kick on top. Alright. So next, I'm gonna pause it, we're gonna finish this up, and then I'm gonna throw my last batch in there, which is just breast and the chicken strips. So right now I just dropped the last of my chicken in there. It's the breast and then the chicken strips. So we're just gonna let that go, and at this point in time I'm just gonna start cleaning up my mess and everything. So this flour, I'll save this in case I'm gonna fry something else in the next couple days. This is good flour to use. And I already wiped down half the section with some bleach. I wiped down half of that with bleach already, so that's good to go. So pretty much I just gotta wait on this and then wait on my chicken, and then we'll be good. So I'll be back with you guys in a couple minutes. Alright, so it's been a couple minutes. I'm just gonna open this up, give it a little shake, and just checking on it, just to make sure everything's kind of moving around. I'm gonna flip over my chicken tenders a little bit. And then, of course, I'm going to flip over my chicken breast. Oh, that's cute. There we go. Alright, so we're just going to let that fry up. And, yeah. Got my lemon pepper waiting. Countertops cleared off, ready to go. What I'm gonna do with my chicken tenders is I've been having a taste for buffalo wings, or buffalo strips. So I have some buffalo sauce right here, and what I'm gonna do with that, I'm gonna have some buffalo strips with blue cheese, and I also got actual blue cheese. I got blue cheese dressing and the blue cheese crumbles. Now some people like to do the ranch. If you like ranch with your buffalo wings, that's cool. It's no problem. There's no ranch in my house. But to each his own. But I like blue cheese. Ranch ain't bad either. I had ranch before. It's not bad, but I really love blue cheese. It's that creaminess that puts it together. So I'm gonna finish letting this chicken fry. Then once I put all that together, I'll show you the final results, and then I'm gonna show you guys how I'm gonna put together my lunch for this afternoon. Well, actually, it's about dinner time, so it might suffice. All right, so I think we're just about done. So I'm gonna take this off, and it looks beautiful. Looks beautiful. So once again, I got my rest of my wings. Now I wanted to definitely fry these a little bit harder, so they're a little bit more crispier. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take my chicken strips, put them over here. There we go, beautiful. And then I got my big, there we go. Now that's beautiful. That's the big piece of chicken right there. So actually I'm gonna let that sit in there for a little bit longer because it's a big piece of meat. I wanna make sure it's well done. So I'm gonna let that sit in there maybe for just a couple more minutes just to make sure. I could temperature it, but in the meantime we got other stuff we can do. So we'll bring this right over here, and then so what I'm gonna do is I got my styrofoam plate thing. I put some foil in there. Got my bread because you need bread, of course, because that goes with it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my chicken strips, and in here I have my buffalo sauce. I just bought some buffalo sauce. You can actually use whatever sauce you want. So I pretty much just actually we'll do this one at a time. So yeah, just throw the wings in there. And if you don't want, you can skip this step if you don't want buffalo sauce, but I love it, so. And I just put that right in there. Oh, make sure I get all my pieces of chicken. There we go. And that should be enough. Actually, this should be enough for a nice lunch, I think. We'll get this one little last piece in there. Alright, so I got a nice 4-piece. I could do a 5-piece, but well, yeah, what the hell, we'll do a 5-piece. Why not? I was gonna do some fries in here, but figure out, you know, don't really need any fries with this. So there we go. We got our buffalo chicken strips in there, and then what I'm gonna do is I actually have my celery. I rinsed it off and everything. So I'm just gonna cut little pieces, little chunks, maybe about 2.5 to 3 inches thick, or it really doesn't matter, but We'll just throw a couple of those in there. Now, for the blue cheese, what I like to do is, since it's like a nice little cup right there, I want this to come off. Whatever. That's a blooper. All right. So I'll add my blue cheese in there like so, just enough, and then I like to add my blue cheese crumbles. I always like both because I like the crumbles in there, and then of course the cheese is good in itself. And then we can just stir that up a little bit. And there you go, there you have it. Now if you want, sometimes I'll drizzle just a little bit more sauce on top of it. But we got a nice VickCook dinner ready to go. Now this is all for me, so I'm gonna be eating this shortly. And then of course, since I'm from Chicago, I'm pairing it with a nice IPA from Chicago as well. Alright, so thank you for tuning in to my VickCook. I'm going to go ahead and take the breast out. Yeah, the breast is about done. So I'm going to take the breast out now, and that's pretty much it. Thank you for tuning in, and till next time.